Alright, I think I'm on. Yep. Hello everybody, what is happening and welcome back to another video. Let me just make a correction really quick, we'll get started. So this is the match preview of Real Madrid versus Galatasaray. It's now or never. If we lose this one, we're in Europa League. Los Merengues TV, thank you for being on, man. It's been a while. I hope you're doing well. I'm sure it's a little bit late where you're at, but thank you for being on. Really do appreciate it. Los Merengues TV does say if Zidane really wants to save his job, he will field in Areola for Courtois, who has on-field presence of mind for all obvious reasons. And I think that's something that I did want to talk about already. We have to have Areola in for Courtois. Areola cannot play. Courtois cannot play this game. It's got to be Areola who plays this game. I mean, like Los Merengues TV was saying, this is going to lead to the demise of Zidane's tenure at the club, and Solari made that decision, sticking by Courtois. And I'm not going to say it led to the demise of his tenure entirely, but what I do have to say is that yes, it did affect him partly. He was very, Solari was very, very steadfast when it came to Courtois, and Zidane's doing the same thing. I don't want to see him repeating the same mistake because it's just not going to work out. It's going to end really bad. It's going to end really bad for Zidane, and it's going to go pretty much the same with Courtois. He's going to stay at the club. He's probably going to get another coach. So there you go. Los Merengues TV says, and after Jovic's trash performance against Mallorca, I see no harm in wanting to field him in. He's a young lad. Obviously, takes time to settle in a club like this. Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't want to put Jovic on in a versus Galatasaray. There's too much intensity. It would be pernicious to his development, especially as a youngster. It would be too harmful for mentally to just put him in versus Galatasaray. So I would not want to see Jovic in the squad versus Galatasaray. I mean, he can be on the bench and something along those lines, but to play as a starter, I don't think so. I don't even think I have him in the squad. I'll have to include him right now. But Jonas says, Zidane is so clueless. Why on earth is Mariano not in the matchday squad? It's obvious. And yeah, I can't understand for the life of me why, we've got him, I think that's the problem, we already have Mariano on the team, and why not just use him, especially with the misfiring Jovic, why just not use him? It's just not going that well with Jovic right now, and I think now would be a good time to get Mariano to get another chance. Los Merengues TV says we have no proper goal scorers providing an offensive threat up front. If you field in only Benzema, easy for the opponent to crowd him and restrict his movement. That'll force him to drop a lot. That's a very good, insightful point from Los Merengues TV. There you go. I mean, and I think that's the problem. Our over-reliance on Benzema has really, I would say, it's been difficult, in the forward line, because all they have to do is really swamp Benzema. I think I saw this versus Atletico Madrid, where it was just swamping Benzema, obviously swamping Eden Hazard to some extent, but like Los Merengues TV was saying, we don't have enough firepower up front. As a result, it's kind of easy to defend against us. Milcor TV, thank you for being on, dude. Another loss to Leeds, another draw, another poor result with good football. I haven't seen that actually. You didn't read my whole point. Sorry about that, Jonas. Let me get back to that. Let's see here, Jonas. So Jonas earlier said it's obvious that Real Madrid lacks explosiveness, and its attack isn't explosive enough to score a lot versus Galatasaray. There you go, and that's very true. I think Los Merengues pretty much kind of said that right now. So yeah, that's exactly true. Our firepower up front it's missing a little bit. Obviously, Hazard to some extent he's a good player, but he's not the kind of 50 goal kind of season player. He's not that kind of player. So who's going to score the goals for us tomorrow? And I think that's the big questions. Los Merengues TV says we saw that against Atletico. Hazard may have had weight issues, but the football IQ goes nowhere. Exactly. He can literally play as Cam 2, literally being the brain in the midfield of 4-4-2 diamond. Yeah, or what you could do is isn't it the 4-4-2 diamond? I think that's what it is actually. That could definitely be a possibility. Los Merengues TV. Hazard, I have seen Hazard play as Cam at Chelsea, so is definitely a possibility. I don't think Zidane will want to do it. For some reason, I think he's going to go with a 3-5-2 or 5-3-2, whatever you want to call it. I think he's going to go with this. I'm not 100% sure. He might go with the 4-4-2. He might go with the 4-3-3. I really don't know how Zidane's going to want to set up tomorrow, but I put the 3-5-2 for tomorrow. Maybe just defensive solidity. Get the wing backs up. It creates width, and then you have two strikers up front. Maybe. I really don't know how he's going to set up tomorrow. And Milko Football TV says La Liga is dead. Every time La Liga teams give in to Barcelona. No, it's not. It's not dead. I would say it's doing really good. Actually, you look at Granada, Real Sociedad. Man, those are some good teams right there. So I don't think it's completely dead. But let's see, creating easy win for Barcelona. Yeah, exactly. Liz Merengue, he says, don't write off Jovic. Man's a gem. He'll prove people wrong very soon. I think he's a gem. I just think at the moment, I don't know if he's ever going to suit Real Madrid. I would like to see him suit Real Madrid. But, I'm not writing him off, but it's the thing with Jovic, he's got a lot of potential. He's a good player. The only thing is I don't know if he'll make it at Real Madrid. I've got my doubts. I've got my qualms at the moment. I really hope he comes good. He seems like a top-class player. He's got everything it takes to really succeed at the top level. I mean, you saw it at Frankfurt, to be honest. So he's definitely got it. But I don't know if he's going to make it at Real Madrid, and that's my real question. Is he going to make it at Real Madrid? So I'm going to be talking about the press conference. I want to talk about the press conference a little bit, what Zidane had to say about tomorrow's game. I know Alfonso Torres always starts off the press conference, and the question goes along the lines of the game versus Galatasaray tomorrow is being labeled as decisive. Do you have the feelings like Al Madridistas that the team always responds in these kinds of games? And Zidane said, yes, I have to say yes, and also that's what we want. It's true that the situation, we all know it, but we started bad in the Champions League, but tomorrow we have a game to show that, and that's what we'll have to do. So obviously just pretty much corroborating that tomorrow's game is decisive. It is pretty much, this is the ultimatum really. It's you gotta do it. And I think because of that, I think that that's going to give Real Madrid the impetus to win this match. I think Real Madrid will win this game. I think it's going to be a very, very difficult win. But I think, with that in mind, considering the context, I think Real Madrid will go for the win. I think we'll win. The next question was, is it a final? The answer was yes, but it's always like that. I've been here 18 years. It's always the same. The pressure is always there. We know the situation, but nothing will change. And I think in that question, the journalist was also alluding to Mourinho. So Zidane pretty much just went on to say there will be a lot of games. We will try until the end. But the rest, the pressure, things are always talked about changing the coach, but that won't change. So Mourinho was being talked a lot about in the press conference with Sergio Ramos and with Zidane as well. I just thought it was a total lack of respect to Zinedine Zidane. I really think that a lot of Zinedine Zidane, what he did at Madrid, has been undermined, undervalued, because he's done so much for the club. And yes, maybe he had Ronaldo. Yes, maybe he had Marcelo. But you know what? Past coaches have had that as well. Past coaches have had Marcelo. Past coaches have had Ronaldo. Past coaches have had I can't think of any other players, and they haven't done the same thing. So, of course he had a lot of good players, but he also got the best out of every player. So you got to think about it like that too. So the next question pretty much goes: do you think Zidane is undervalued? The journalist kind of said he kind of talked about Zidane in the third person. It's kind of weird. He said, "Do you think Zidane is undervalued, his achievements?" Zidane just said no, because we already talked about that. What happened. Football, we forget what happens in the past, and that's life. For me, it's the same. It's the present. The past is the past. And what I did as a player, and now the present. I'm not saying that it's not bothering me, but what they're saying because it bothers me, I don't like it, and I can't. And I can't not let people have their opinions. As a coach, I can only give my maximum with my players the same. And that's it. And think positively as always. We have a beautiful game tomorrow. We know the situation. We'll try to win, and that's what worries us most. So obviously, Zidane pretty much just hinted that it does bother him, to have these kinds of criticism, to have these underminings as a coach. And I think it's just a total lack of disrespect, to be honest. I think Zidane's, he's proven himself as a coach, to win all these, to win a multitude of trophies, like he did. Just a couple years ago, it was unheard of, to be honest. I know he did it with a really good squad, star-studded squad, but nonetheless, still a great achievement. So let me get into the comments really quick. Let's see here. So Milkors to Football TV says, bro, did you see the way Mallorca beat Madrid but watch them play Barcelona? I didn't watch the game, to be honest, but I really didn't watch the game. I'm assuming Mallorca just hit them on the break, and then after that they sat deep, they compact, and that's how they kind of played. And I think Marcelo kind of alluded to this in the post-match kind of interview. So yeah. Los Merengues TV says Real Madrid does not provide the most smooth platform. Real Madrid, does not provide the most smooth platform to grow, and that's exactly true. Los Merengues TV, I think that's a good point. I think it's very difficult, very difficult mentally. It's just draining, and you're playing for the best club in the world. You're playing for the pinnacle. For the pinnacle. How can I say this? No. How can I say it? You're playing for the top club in the world, and I think it's very difficult to develop in these kinds of environments, because the crowd is on you. The tumult can really be harmful to you and mentally, and so of course it doesn't really provide the most smooth platform to grow. However, I think it's good that we've loaned some of our players out. Odegaard, Kubo. I think those were very good decisions. Maybe Brahim Diaz could have been loaned out to some extent. I think he's ready for the team, but I think for his own sake, getting more playing time, maybe he could have been loaned out. Maybe it would have been better for him. But there you go. And Los Merengues TV says, problem with every big club, we need the results, so that's how it is, and that's exactly it. Yeah, that's the problem with the whole trying to develop the youth, is that Real Madrid is a results-driven club. I think any club is like that, but we are more results-oriented than pretty much any other club is what I have to say. Some clubs like to develop, they like to bring in money, but we are results-oriented. We always try to go after the success. And the problem with bringing young players is that they're inconsistent. They'll have bad games, they'll have good games, and we don't have time for that. That's the problem. Milkor Football TV says they give it so easy to Barcelona. There you go. Bro, how do you do live streams? It's not very difficult, Milkor Football TV. If you want, you could send me a message. I do have Instagram and Twitter. I'll try to tell you really quick, just as best as I could. You go on YouTube Studio. I think it says beta. From there, I think there is a little thing at the bottom. It says Creator Classic or something. Just change it to Creator Classic. And then from there, I think there's an option that says live streaming. You just click on that, and then I think it says stream now, and then you schedule the stream from there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. But if you have any questions, dude, you can just send me a message. I'd be more than happy to help. Les Merengues TV says, David, you back in Zidane. Let me prove you wrong in a sort of way. So Les Merengues TV says, Zidane is not a tactically sound coach. I know. I think he's going to learn that. For me, I really do think he's going to learn that. I think he could learn that. I think he's got a keen eye, and I really like Zidane for that. Les Merengues TV says his man-to-man management is what saved him all along. I think that's true. However, I think you can make an argument. My antithesis is that that man-to-man management maybe is what saved him all along. But you know what? If you can do that again, then I think you can be proved as a very good coach, even though tactically, maybe you are a bit inept. Les Merengues TV says he as a coach is average as best, and regarding trophies, his way of doing it is not very self-sustaining. To do it 3 years, I mean, I gotta say it is pretty self-sustaining. But you know what? Zidane is a contentious coach, and he is going to create different factions around the fan base. And some people will say that he's not the right man to lead us forward. I always think so, but it is what it is. Les Merengues TV says Zidane is all about the grind. He has to present results. He doesn't really field in for the culture. Have you seen how we defend? We compare that to 11-12 under Mourinho. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really watch 11-12 under Mourinho, but I heard so much of it. I really wish I would have watched that season, because I heard that we were just unbelievable that season. I've always heard really great things about that season under Mourinho, but I never really got to experience it. And like I said, I wish I would have watched it, but I didn't. But yeah, you're right. Los Merengues TV. I think Zidane is all about the grind. Yes, yeah, I think you're right. That's a good point. Let's see here. So let me go to earlier comments here. Milkor Football TV says Zidane is the best manager for you. Los Merengues TV. Being all of football. I can understand. I can understand both arguments. I think that Zidane is tactically inept. I think that there's a case to be made here. I think the other case is that Zidane has won a multitude of trophies. His man-to-man management is what saved him. I think Los Merengues TV was making a good point. However, I think every football coach will have their weaknesses. They'll have their strengths. Zidane played to his strengths very, very well. What makes a great coach? Is it really the tactical part of the game? Is it really the man-to-man management? It all depends on your criteria of what makes a coach so great. But every coach has his weaknesses and his strengths. Obviously, Zidane's strength was the man-to-man management. Yeah, so there's obviously two parts to the argument there. Zidane winning a multitude of trophies, at the end, that's really what counts, right, is the trophies. Zidane to win all those trophies, you got to be, his management is spot on. And yeah, maybe tactically he isn't a bit inept, but to do that, and to not be considered a great coach, I would say it's undermining some of, his qualities, I'd say. So let's see here. What country are you from, David? Oh, I'm from the U.S. I'm from the U.S. actually. I'm from California. I'm from San Diego, California. I'm currently living in a small state in the middle of the U.S. I'm probably gonna move pretty soon. I'm a bit of a nomad these days. So yeah, there you go. Let's see here. Zidane says, I think Zidane's criticism is fair. I like that. I think so. For someone who bags Zidane, I think it is fair. And Jonas does say this. I think Zidane's criticism is fair because Real Madrid plays with predictable with plenty of crosses. Zidane and his crosses, man. Better love story than Twilight. And Jonas, and then dependency of individual brilliance, the player not most producing, and Ronaldo. Yeah, exactly. That's true. That's true, and that's a good argument. I think that's another premise that you could add to the argument that that Zidane is really, is he a great coach really? And that's the question. Milkor Football said, thank you. Yeah. You just shoot me a message and I'll try to get back to you. I should get back to you by today. Mourinho 11-12 never won a CL. Very, very close though. You have to say it was very, very close. I think they got into the semifinals. They were a very, very good team from what I've heard. So, yeah. Los Merengues TV says man-to-man management is not very sustainable. Yeah, there you go. Sorry about that. Did I read that? Let me check if I read that. Man-to-man management is not very sustainable on a long-term basis. If he really is the coach he is meant to be, he would know how to build back, unlike a pack of cards. I think we have to wait. First we were first in La Liga, but I think we have to wait. We have to wait a little bit. It's his first season back as in his second stint, so I'm just gonna wait it out a little bit more. I'm gonna back him. I'm always gonna be a lag. Let's see. Les Merengues TV says, listen, David. Let's see here. So Jonas says, also, I don't think Zidane deserves all the blame because the club doesn't back the manager enough by giving the players manager what they need, and the time needed, like Lopetegui, for example. Oh, man, Real Madrid are the most ruthless club in the world, like Lopetegui was one. But Lopetegui, the sacking, I think it was justifiable. Probably some people won't agree. I know some people won't agree with me. I think it was a bit justifiable. But yeah, I think Real Madrid is really the most ruthless club in the world to be sacking managers. That, to be honest, for Zidane to do what he's done, not bad. So let's see here. Milkor Football TV says, who's better, Zidane or Pep? Very, very, very difficult. You got to give me some time on that one. Yeah, that's a very difficult one. I would say Zidane. I'm biased. I would say Zidane, just because of the bias. If I were to remove that bias, and I'd have to look at both. I'd have to look at both coaches, what they've spent, the players they've inherited. There's so many facets to this argument. Zidane or Pep, I really don't know. But if I go with my bias, I'd say Zidane. And Pep is a former Barca player, right? So. But no, looking at it objectively, I think it's very, very difficult. Glenn Pridmore, thank you for being on, dude. Really do appreciate that. Thank you for being on. So Glenn says we need more support from Casemiro. The man is a beast, but not Superman yet. Peace. Yeah, there you go. Casemiro, top class, man. This guy is, when when he's not in the team, huge difference, So definitely Casemiro is a beast. Milkor, let's see here. So give us a recap, David Mosen, man. What's up, dude? Welcome. Thank you for being on. I know during those seasons where was PSG in the CL. There you go. Let's see if did I talk about anything? I talked a little bit about the press conference and what I had to say, but I'm going to be talking more about that pretty shortly. Let's see here. There's a conversation going on in the comments, okay? Let's see here. So before the season, I was saying to myself, I want La Liga. We're Real Madrid and should always go for everything, go of course, but La Liga would be great. And that actually leads to the next question in the press conference that I did want to talk about is, let's see here. The next question was, okay, there you go. So the next question goes along the lines of, we've heard you on various occasions this season that in the first parts that the players are missing some energy, intensity, and hunger. We've heard this also, but at the end of last season as well. After 6-7 months of being back in Madrid, of course referring to Zidane, how is it possible that these things keep happening in a team with 25 stars and they go out without intensity, energy, hunger? Zidane just said, it's not exactly like that. We can't talk about last season. Last season, in the end, you can't play for nothing. It's complicated. We know that. We now have a new season. We're all in this, and this happens every now and then where we don't play good. But that's life. I thought this was a really good point. But that's life. You can't always play good. You can't always be in a good state. We know that. The important thing for us is each game. We know the demands of this club. It's Real Madrid. We can't make one mistake at 1 minute. But it happens, and we have to try to reduce the margin of error. Every game is its own. The other day we weren't happy. But now we have Champions League, and we're prepared, and we want to put on a good display, and we will do so. So I thought that was quite interesting from Zidane. Obviously, we do, it's easy to forget that, these players, they have feelings. They have, they have days where it's not going so well. They do have, little bouts of, I don't want to say depression, but they do have bouts of, not feeling this well. And it does happen, and we think of these players as these rote individuals who, every day it's just, it's 100%. And I understand that, every day is 100% for these players, especially when you're at a club like Real Madrid. But I think sometimes, we do forget the human nature of these individuals who play in football. We think of them as more really robots that have to be good every day. And that's true, but like Zidane was saying, we do have to reduce the margin of error, and I think probably Zidane's he's really, I would say, he knows about this, and yeah, there you go. I thought this was a really good point, but yeah, it is Real Madrid. You always have to be at 100%. Obviously, you don't want to be like Courtois and not be good for 14, 15 months now that he's not been good. So, when you talk about this, Zidane talking about reducing the margin of error, and then you play Thibaut Courtois every single game. There's a huge discrepancy there. But anyways, yeah, I thought it was a really good point. I thought it was a really nice point. It is the human nature, Sometimes we don't do so well. Sometimes things go a little bit better. We feel 100%. I can tell you that at work, there are times where it's just it doesn't feel good. I've had times where. There are days where you just feel down, the events happen, situations happen, so there you go. And the last question that I did want to talk about is, do you feel that tomorrow if the game is lost, your position is in contention? Ridiculous question to ask, really a lack of disrespect there. And I just thought all the questions, pointed to Zidane. There was a few questions there that there's just a total lack of respect, to be honest, and I hated that. The question was, do you feel that tomorrow if the game is lost, your position is in contention? He just laughed it off. He said, I don't know, man. You can't ask me that. All I want is to be here. You can't ask me that. Your question is a situation. You know the situation. You have to ask someone else. I just thought it was a total lack of respect. Zidane, he is the manager currently, and Sergio Ramos alluded to this in his press conference. There was questions about Mourinho in the press conference, and. I really, like I said, I thought it was a total lack of disrespect. Sergio Ramos said we have to concentrate on our own thing. We don't want to change anybody's opinion. that has to be respected. It's us and the results we can get. We'll see how things go in the future. One day another win. You have to put all the one day you win, one day you lose. You have to put aside all that talk. Once you get the results, things will be more comfortable, and you'll have done a good job. So that's what Sergio Ramos pretty much said. He didn't want to say too much about Mourinho. Let's see here. There was a little conversation going on. There you go. All right, so modern day football fans, it's all good. It's all good. Let's see here. So there you go. That's pretty much what I gleaned from the press conference. I think the only thing to be said here, there was a few other questions. I wasn't able to get to them on time, unfortunately. I think there was a lack of time for me, to be honest. I wish I had gotten all the questions, but I think after that the questions were a bit repetitive. So maybe it was a good thing that I stopped there. But that was it for the questions. Obviously, I think for tomorrow's game, we're going to play at Galatasaray. Is it going to be a hard game? It's going to be a very difficult game. I think we're going to set a 3-5-2. The reason I think, or 3-5-2, 5-3-2, whatever you want to call it. I'm not 100% sure of the formations though, but I think it might be a 3-5-2 because it's a way. Maybe we're going to set up a little bit more defensively. I really don't know what to expect. Put the 3-5-2, hoping that it'll happen, but we'll see for tomorrow. There you go. Let's see. So is there a couple of other things to say? Hazard coming back, obviously, from the birth of his son, which, like I said, I exonerate him from that just because it's the birth of your son is one of a lifetime opportunity. I will not give him too much stick. I totally understand. If I were in his position, I think I would have done the same thing. Playing Benzema, playing Isco. I don't know if he's going to play. Cruz, Casemiro. I think Cruz is coming back from injury. Mendy's in the squad. Sergio Ramos, Varane, Militao, I'm not sure if he's going to feature, but we'll have to see. Carvajal, obviously. And hopefully, I'm really hoping that we see Ariel. And that seems to be the general consensus among Real Madrid fans, is that Ariel has got to play. Ariel, for me, he's the most decisive player in that squad. If we play Courtois, for me, it's a loss. It's a loss. If we play Courtois, it's a loss. I don't want to see Courtois in between the two goalposts, and it's hard for me to be like that, but it's what's right for Real Madrid. It's what's right, and we can't be having sympathy for players that are not doing good. Courtois needs to be dropped. Ariel needs to come in. So that's really the big thing with our squad tomorrow, is that Ariel has to be played. Let's see. They need to make Super Champions League competition for us to win that. Exactly. No, a better goalkeeper than Ariel. Let me talk about the goalkeeper situation. I mean, we have Courtois. Ariel is prone to making mistakes. We know that. That's almost, I don't want to say it's a fact, but I've seen that before. So our goalkeeping situation, it is a bit dubious. Hopefully we do see, another goalkeeper eventually. Let's see. So Molson says Champions League is the elite competition. We're just kind of bored after winning 3 in a row and so many. Yeah, I can understand. Why not just go for Europa League? But no, I'm just kidding. But there you go. I think that's pretty much the match preview, guys. I'm pretty much going to end it in like 3 minutes or so. But just to kind of succinctly go over everything, I mean, like I said, there was a lot of talk about Mourinho. I really didn't like that. It was a total lack of disrespect. Talked about the existential factors of Real Madrid players, of what they have to go through, and every day is up and down, and Real Madrid, we always try to reduce the margin of error, but it can't always be up. Sometimes we'll have down times, and I think we do have to realize that sometimes we will have down times, and that's only normal. Sacking the manager is not going to always be the answer for me. So, I would, as like Los Merengues TV was saying, as much as maybe he's probably tactically inept, he's probably not, the greatest in that aspect. Is he's got other qualities, and if he succeeds in other qualities, and we can win trophies, with those with him getting the best out of players and his man-to-man management, then I think it would be undermining to say that he's not a great coach, even if tactically he's not the best. But there you go. Let's see. So the other thing I wanted to talk about, it's a final. There was talk about Mourinho. It was, like I said, it was total lack of disrespect. And the squad was named for tomorrow. Let's see if I can just get to that really quick. Oops, I didn't even copy and paste. There you go. Okay, so I didn't even put the squad for tomorrow, so I'm not sure what it's looking like. I think Rodrigo Goes is going to be in the squad. Anyone looking forward to the game tomorrow? Yeah, I certainly am. I think that's going to be a good game. But let me just give my prediction. Jonas163 says, "Yeah, you missed my comment below about La Liga." I'm sorry, Jonas. Let me just try to get that back really quickly here. There was a lot of comments earlier. Sorry about that, Jonas. There you go. I see it. Real Madrid needs to rack up some La Liga, I think points because Real Madrid has La Liga titles. Oh, there you go. So Jonas163 says Real Madrid needs to rack up some La Liga titles because Real Madrid has La Liga titles this decade, and hopefully they focus more on La Liga next decade. I think maybe in the next 5 years would be good. The next decade, I think, would be extending it. Yeah, but the next 5 years, if we could focus on La Liga, I think that would help us so much. I think that's a good point. We do need to focus a little bit more on that. But like Mohsen was saying, yeah, it's Real Madrid. They always compete for everyone, right? They always compete for every trophy. So there you go. Oh man, I missed a whole bunch of comments. Okay, Abhishek, dude. Hey, what's up, dude? At least I'm able to catch you live. Yeah, I know. I'm pretty much finishing up, but yeah, I think I just recapped a little bit, so hopefully that'll give you some insight to what I said. Let's see here. I missed a few comments, you guys. I'm really sorry. Real Madrid should always go. Yeah, Mohsen says Real Madrid should always go before both for La Liga and the Champions League. The Copa del Rey is not necessary. It's great to give the youngsters a minute. Yeah, there you go. I think that's good, Mohsen. I really like that. And let's see here. Wow, I missed a lot of comments. I'm sorry, really sorry, guys. Wow, let's see here. Real Madrid is fit for for Club World Cup. There you go. And Los Merengues TV says, off topic, David. I feel like I've been deviating a lot from Real Madrid on my channel. LMAO. Go back to your roots, Los Merengues TV. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see here. So Mohsen says we can win it, but it's more challenging, and we usually have to scrape it by a margin. Yeah, there you go. Milkcore, let's see here. Hazard traveled, asked Molson. Yes, Hazard has traveled. Hazard is in the squad, so he is. I think he's going to play. I'm really assuming that. And Milkcore TV says, fourth or third best team in EPL. And Wilson says, thoughts on Jovic? Jovic, I've got qualms about him. I've got my doubts. I'm gonna stick by him. I think he's got all the talent it takes for him to succeed at a top club. However, I think I've got my qualms on whether he can succeed at Real Madrid. I've got my reservations about that. Because it's been a while now. He hasn't done much in a Real Madrid shirt. It's very, very hard to turn around. I hope he does, but it's difficult. Once you start having a stretch of period where you don't do so well, a little bit difficult to turn around. But we'll have to see. Milkcore Football TV says Jovic is a flop. I think it was a bad signing. I'm starting to think so too, but I don't want to get into it too much because I think he's got so much quality. I really like what I see from him, but I don't know if he fits Real Madrid. I really wish we would have stuck with Raul de Tomas. That was always the player I was stuck with, Raul de Tomas and Mariano Diaz. For me, we never had to go after a striker, but Zidane made his decision, and there you go. We have to respect it. Mosen said Benzema wasn't great in his first season. There you go, man. There you go. I like that. Benzema wasn't great in his first season, and look at that. I think it's like 10 years later, still here. So, and 10 great years, to be honest. Yeah, he's been up and down, but overall, you can say Benzema, man. He's lived through the ups and downs. Neither was Modric, and look where they are. There you go, Mosen. I like that, actually. That's a good point. I didn't think about that. Molson says he deserves another season, and I think that's really true. He deserves another season. We just kind of have to wait for him. Los Brangas TV says, I've been getting hate from 3 guys. I mean, compared to you for humility, like what the hell, man. Certain people are slating me for it. It's okay, man. It's hard to find your identity. You'll find it, Los Merengues TV. It just takes a little bit of time. I went through a period where it's just like, I don't know what I'm doing with this channel. But it's going a little bit more stable now. So you'll find it at my Los Merengues TV. Don't worry. It just takes a little bit of time. And Milkor says, bro, that Tomas would have been amazing. He's doing terrible in Benfica, apparently. Oh, man, that's crazy. Unbelievable. I think he would have done good here at Real Madrid because he was doing good with Rayo Vallecano. 14 goals, I think, in 32 appearances. He was excellent there. So there you go. Let's see here. John says, I think Jovic needs to be on loan this January and develop, and then Real Madrid should buy Aubameyang, whose dream is to play for them. But I always thought Aubameyang was going to come to Real Madrid, but going to Arsenal seemed like such a... I really couldn't understand the logic behind that, but there you go. Mosin says Mariano needs to get minutes, and that's what Jonas was saying earlier. He really does, really does. So there you go. That's all I have for you guys today. I'm pretty much going to end it there. There's the match preview for Real Madrid versus Galatasaray. We'll be doing the match reaction tomorrow right after the game. I'm on vacation, so this is really, really nice. Going to be able to watch the whole game. Going to be able to give my analysis on the game. So there you go. There you have it, guys. I'm going to end it there. Thank you guys so much for being on. Like I said, I'll be back tomorrow right after the game. Mosin says, I keep playing Jovic still, but Mariano needs minutes. Exactly. Mariano he needs minutes. I would love to see him play more. He's got the energy. He's got the energy. So yeah, I'll be doing the reaction tomorrow, Mosin. So right after the game. I know I've been really, really inconsistent with the games, with the match reactions, but I will be back for the match reaction tomorrow. You can watch Mallorca versus Real Madrid on YouTube. Wow. Holy crap. What? I can't believe it. I'm going to probably watch that then. Yeah, I'll probably watch that right now. Obey my blood, Carti Yang. There you go. All right, guys. So there you go. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll be back tomorrow right after the game. So thank you guys. Have a good day. Have a good night, wherever you're at.